Welcome to a new guitar tutorial. I've recently watched the trailer for the new Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and one fantastic thing about these movies is that they feature some at least half-forgotten rock classics, and the new trailer features Since You've Been Gone, originally recorded by Russ Ballard in 1976 and covered by Rainbow, I guess, in 1979. If I'm wrong with this date, drop me a line in the comments. And today we're gonna check out the Rainbow version because it's the most fun to play for us guitar players. If you're interested in sheet music of the song, you can go to my Patreon page. There you can download a full transcription of the parts I will show you in this tutorial, including tabs and regular notation. And if you enjoyed the lesson, please hit subscribe, ring the bell, and drop me a line in the comments. The song starts in the key of G major with the famous guitar riff. So we're starting with a G power chord, and if you check out different tabs of the song, you will find some different G power chords, but I guess Ritchie Blackmore is using this voicing. Here we have the 5th fret of the A string and the 5th fret of the D string. And then we mute the G string and we have the 3rd fret of the B string and the 3rd fret of the high E string. Which is a quite great sounding power chord variation. But if you have difficulties in using this one, you can also use the basic version with the 3rd fret of the low E string and the 5th fret of the A and the D string. And you can also use this open G power chord. Yeah, but I guess, and I checked out some live versions of the song. I guess he's using this voicing. And this chord is played 3 times. And then we're going to a D power chord. Here we have the 5th fret of the A string and the 7th fret of the D and the G string. This chord is played twice. Then we're going 2 frets up to an E power chord, which is played 3 times. And then we're going down to a C power chord, same voicing, but now we're starting on the 3rd fret. And this voicing is played 2 times. So the complete first 2 bars, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we're going back to the G power chord for 3 times. And then we have the D power chord played once, up to the E power chord, and then we're going down to the C again, which is played 3 times, and then we're going back up to the D power chord, which is played 2 times. So these 2 bars one more time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Then the first 2 bars of the riff are repeated. But then there's a difference at the ending of the intro riff. Here we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So here we have 1, 2, 4 bar in between. We're starting with the G chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and here's the 2/4 bar. And at the end of the 2/4 bar, we're doing a slide up to the D power chord, and this last chord is held for 2 bars. So one more time, the ending of the intro riff, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're in the verse part, and the chords for the verse part, we're starting on a on the G chord. So we have the 3rd fret of the low E string, 2nd fret of the B string, the open D and the open G string, and the 3rd fret of the B and the high E string. The next chord is a D chord, D major chord with an F sharp in the bass. Here we are using the thumb for the 2nd fret of the low E string. We're muting the A string, and we have the open D string, and then 2nd fret of the G string, 3rd fret of the B string, and the 2nd fret of the high E string. Then we're going to an E minor chord, 2nd fret of the A string and the 2nd fret of the D string. Next chord is a D sus2 chord. Here we have the open D string, 2nd fret of the G string and the 3rd fret of the B string and the open high E string. Then we have a regular C major chord, 3rd fret of the A string, 2nd fret of the D string, open G string, and the 1st fret of the B string. And then we have a G chord with a B in the bass. Here we have the 2nd fret of the A string, and then the open D, the open G, and the open B string. Then the next chord is an A chord or an A7 chord, which is the open A string, 2nd fret of the D string and the 2nd fret of the G string, and the verse part ends on the D sus2 chord again. And over these chords you can do some ad-lib arpeggios. The guitar is playing it a little bit different each time, but basically you can just move through the chords with this arpeggio starting on the low string and then going up over the D, the G and the B string, for example. So we're starting with the G chord, 1 and 2 and, then we're going to the D with the F sharp in the bass, 3 and 4 and, then the same on the E minor chord, 1 and 2 and. On the D sus2 chord you can play the D, G, B and high E string. Then on the C chord the 4 middle strings. Then the G over B, same 4 strings. And then on the A or the A7 chord we're playing the A string, the D string on the 2nd fret, the G string on the 2nd fret. Then we remove the 3rd finger from the G string, so we have the open G string. And at the end we're playing the D sus2 chord again. So one more time the complete part. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 this complete part is played twice during the verse part. And then as the pre-chorus part goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the pre-chorus starts on an E flat power chord. Here we have the 6th fret of the A string and the 7th fret of the D string. And then we're going to the 8th fret of the low E string and the 8th fret of the A string. Then the 7th fret of the D string. Back to the 8th fret of the A string and then down to the 6th fret of the A string. And the rhythm for this part is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. And then we go from the 8th fret to the 6th fret to the 5th fret of the low E string, and then up to the 3rd fret of the A string, 4th fret of the A string, 5th fret of the A string. And the rhythm for this part is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and. So one more time, the complete pre-chorus part. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then we're in the chorus section, and the accompanying for the chorus section is the basic intro riff. And this riff is played 3 times during the chorus part. Then there's another verse part which can be played in the same way as the first verse, another pre-chorus part also played in the same way, and another chorus section also the same. And then there's a little instrumental section which goes like this. We're starting on the 4th fret of the G string, then the 5th fret of the D string, up to the 5th fret of the G string, then once again the 5th fret of the D string, and then up to the 7th fret of the G string. On the 7th fret we're doing a whole tone bend, then this bending is released, and then we're doing a hammer-on pull-off starting on the 5th fret of the G string up to the 7th fret, and then we're going down to the 4th fret of the G string. Then this 4th fret is repeated up to the 5th fret, and then we have one more time this hammer on pull off, this time starting on the 4th fret up to the 5th fret. Then we're going down to the 7th fret of the D string and the 5th fret of the D string. And the first part ends with a whole tone bend starting on the 6th fret of the B string. So one more time, this complete part. And then the complete part is repeated 1 octave higher, so we're starting on the 12th fret of the B string, 12th fret of the G string, then the 13th fret of the B string, one more time the 12th fret of the G string, and then the 15th fret of the B string. Then we're doing the whole tone bend on the 15th fret, rebend, then one more time this hammer on pull off, this time starting on the 13th fret up to the 15th fret, and then we're going down to the 12th fret of the B string, then this 12th fret is repeated up to the 13th fret, then one more time hammer on pull off, this time from the 12th to the 13th fret, and then we're going down to the 14th fret of the G string and 12th fret of the G string. And the second part also ends with a whole tone bend, this time starting on the 13th fret of the high E string. So one more time, this complete part. and then the complete interlude part, and with a D power chord, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And then there's a key change. The song changes from G major to A major, so we have to play the riff just 2 frets higher. And at the end of this chorus part, before the guitar solo starts, there's a variation. So we are starting one more time on the A power chord. Then we're going up to the E, F sharp, and now we have an F power chord, so the 8th fret of the A string and the 10th fret of the D and the G string. This part is repeated. And at the end we're doing the A power chord again, to the E power chord, and then we're going down to the A power chord. This time the open A power chord with the open A string and the 2nd fret of the D and the G string. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then the guitar solo starts, and the guitar solo is played over the same chords like the chorus of the song. This was the rhythm guitar part of Since You've Been Gone by Rainbow. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. Please hit subscribe if you haven't, ring the bell, leave a like, drop me a line in the comments, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.